Hello, this is the Happy Weight Podcast and this is Aoife Dean. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's episode is Bad Day SOS and I have so much to say on this. It might even need to go to a second episode because I don't want to keep you too long today either. I don't want to really drain any attention span or anything. But just to be clear on what I would kind of constitute a bad day, I suppose where our body image is in our boots, we are really, really hating our body today, and putting on clothes was very hard and looking in the mirror was very hard. So it could be that. It could be that also mixed with a lot of guilt, remorse, disappointment about maybe we overate or overdrank the last few days and we're feeling really miserable about that. So that's what a bad day is, I suppose, when it comes to food and weight and stuff. And I would say, depending how many of those bad days we have is how messed up we are with our eating and weight. So as we're getting better, we will be able to harness these bad days, see them for what they are, deal with them differently, have less of them, and us having less of them on average per month or on average per 6 months or a year or whatever, that's a really good sign of where our eating and weight is going. We do a lot of damage on the bad days to our mindset and our confidence and everything like that. So that's a bad day. So the first one I kind of think is really good to kind of figure out first is that maybe these thoughts aren't true, right? So if all our thoughts about our body and our eating over the weekend or whatever are really all negative, can't think of anything good about our body, can't think of anything good about ourselves or our eating or whatever, let's consider that maybe they're not our thoughts as such. Maybe it's just an effect on our biochemistry. So first of all, I would say never trust a tired thought. So if you're really tired, you're not going to have good quality thoughts. So those thoughts are not a reflection on your reality. They're not a reflection on where you are, where you're going, where you could go. They're just your body trying to make you down tools and go to bed. I think we've toxic, low quality thoughts until we give up and go to bed. And maybe that's not possible for you today. And maybe you've a busy job or kids or whatever. And therefore, our only alternative is okay, I'm going to have to coexist with all these low quality thoughts today. But what I can do is not read into them. What I can do is not believe them. And I suppose another few reasons why our biochemistry would be messed up is maybe we had alcohol over the last few days. Maybe we had a lot of alcohol over the last few days. Maybe we're back from a hen or whatever. And, however you slice it and dice it, alcohol is a central nervous system depressant. You're not going to be the exception to that rule. So if there is alcohol in your system, over the last 48, 72 hours, that there's not going to be the best quality thoughts. That's highly possible. There's not going to be the best quality thoughts. So yet again, I'd create some separation that it's not you. It's not anything you've done. It's not a reflection of where you are or where you're going. It's just the central nervous system depressant that you were drinking over the last few days. And of course, another one is exercise. I hate to now, I'm just sounding like a boring dietitian now. I'm just talking about sleep, exercise, and alcohol. But this is the reality. We're in the human body. The human body has terms and conditions. We're not going to be exceptions to the rule. So if we haven't exercised much, we're just not going to have the same endorphin levels, serotonin levels. So that just is what it is. So for me anyway, I can really make my peace with all that stuff, that it's sure, what was I expecting? I'm not going to have super positive, optimistic thoughts today. That's hardly going to happen if our body is not in good nick because of those basic things. But like I said, even that can be soothing really, because, then we're okay, I just need to get through today basically. Drink lots of water, get to bed when I can get to bed, but I'm not going to believe any of these tired thoughts because They're not true. They're just my body trying to make me go to bed. So that's the first thing that I think that's really important. The second one is like what I really learned from getting over my own weight and eating issues is that we understand the cycle all wrong, right? Because most people understand the cycle as we have a phase of being good, and then that comes to a halt and we start being bad. And then that comes to a halt and then we've remorse, judgment, feel guilty. And the cycle starts again. We're good, we're bad, we feel guilty, start again. But actually the cycle starts today. The cycle starts on how do you respond to overeating? So, or how do you respond to negative thoughts, basically? So actually your reaction days, your Monday mornings, the day after you come back from a wedding or after a hen or after visitors staying all weekend or whatever it might be, it's your response afterwards. That's where you get to pull up your sleeves and be different, because we know the kind of quintessential weight problem reaction. The usual weight problem reaction would be give out to myself, say everything I ate and drank was wrong, tell myself I'm a failure, I'm a disappointment, I've no willpower, there's no hope for me, I'll always be fat. So that's what it's like, on a Monday or after something when we have a weight problem. So this is where we get to exhibit that we're no longer going to be someone who has a weight problem. So change happens always in the mind first. Our mind changes our choices and our behaviors, and our choices and behaviors change our body. So we get to choose now. We get to really hold ourselves accountable to what do we think someone who has no issues with eating or weight would feel like the day after a wedding or the day after being away on a uni reunion or whatever it might be. How would they respond? Because basically maybe the lighter they are in their body physically, with no control issues with food, no eating issues with food, probably the lighter their response. I know that sounds really oversimplified, but it's just true. So it's I ate loads of takeaways or we didn't do much exercise or whatever, but where does giving out to myself for that come in? Today is a new day. I don't need to beat myself up for that. I didn't eat nuclear waste. I didn't do anything the rest of the girls weren't doing or anything like that. It wasn't that odd to go out for a 3-course meal or eat loads of crisps while we were chatting or, whatever the thing was. It's let's play it down. Let's not be dramatic about it. Let's not be extreme about it, because I remember my reactions used to be so extreme. It's this means you're never going to change. I had the added pressure of being a dietitian with binge eating disorder. So it's you should be ashamed of yourself. I was so over the top. And now, I kind of think we have to pull our socks up a little bit. And it's you want to lighten up though, is it? You want to physically lighten up, yeah? All right, yeah. Well, then you'd want to be lightening up in your reactions then. Throwing the toys out of the pram and saying it's all over and no one eats as badly as you. It's nah, that has to stop. That has to stop. We have to start looking at it all with new eyes. So you've an opportunity. The bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity. So big problems is always when you've got big opportunities to create a new outcome. So I turned into a bit of a psycho in terms of the day after I binge ate. I was right, Aoife, you get to be a slim person today. You get to be yeah, I finished a share bag by myself, no biggie. You get to be cool and not ashamed of yourself and move on and be light about it. And now is your practice. So you want this practice. The best sailors learn on the roughest seas. So we can't just eliminate bad days. We have to practice how we act in them and how we react. So this is actually a really good opportunity for you to walk around the place and assume you've done nothing wrong. Of course, you've not done anything wrong. Then the next one we have to consider is black and white thinking. So, I think diets, because we might have been calorie counting or, totting up points or whatever, It was a pass or fail. It was like, oh, my calories were over or my points were over. So that helped us develop what's called black and white thinking, which isn't good in any area of our life. So us like categorically calling Saturday bad or the weekend bad. And I had a call earlier with a client, and I was like, basically the cracks in our thinking are where the lights shine through, and we want to find a crack in our old way of thinking now. So keeping in mind a bad day, if you say you had a bad day, right, you're saying 24 hours was bad. You're saying 1,400 minutes were bad. And it's like, okay, that's highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely that if anyone saw a snippet of you at any one of those minutes of the 1,400 minutes, you would be doing something disordered. You'd be overeating. It's like, nah, unlikely. And like I was saying, I was talking to a client this morning and I was like, okay, let's break it down, because his wife had been working with me actually, and then the wife referred, he needed help, and she said, just give Aoife a call or whatever. So he was coming on the phone all remorseful, but he was like, oh, my wife told me, like, you're not going to see it that way. And I was like, well, yeah, definitely not. And I was like, well, let's break it down. Let's go through everything you ate and drank over the weekend. And basically I would say the extras, the stuff that we don't probably need to take with us to our lighter weight, because it's like, okay, we're downsizing our body, we're downsizing our diet. So what's the stuff we want to keep? What's the stuff we probably don't need to bring with us? And out of the whole 3 days, because like he drinks as well. So there was pints, there was wine, there was meals out, there was the works. And I was like, okay, let's break it all down. And really the only thing he had that was non-memorable was he had a packet of biscuits yesterday evening. And at that stage, he was probably beyond wrecked, and the visitors had just left, and he was probably a bit hungover. And he probably was, and we discussed this a lot on the call as well, he was probably warming up to being good today. And if you've watched any of my stuff online, it's like, I'll be good tomorrow. Tomorrow is the mantra of weight gain. Like, because like he had a whole pointless, packet of biscuits. And I would say 90% of that was driven by it being Sunday night. And he was telling himself, tomorrow I'm going to be good. So it's like, but still, one packet of biscuits, which he probably consumed in, 20 minutes. 20 minutes is very different from 72 hours. Like 3 days of bad eating is very different to 20 minutes of bad day. So don't let yourself off the hook that way. Don't let yourself say all of Sunday was bad. Like maybe you woke up and you had cornflakes or whatever and you got on with your day, but then your partner got takeaway at 4 p.m. and you caved and you ate more than him or whatever. But that's still not a bad day. That's still not 24 hours. And it probably sounds like I'm being pedantic about this, but nuance is important. Like if black and white thinking, I'm bad, I'll never change, I'm fat, I'm wrong, if that's what like really speeds up and worsens weight issues, well, nuance is how we change. Nuance is really important. Like us being like, I actually had a lovely lunch and actually I ate way less chips than other people. And, actually I remember feeling nicely full after that meal. Like there was no evidence for my stomach I ate too much. So that wasn't a bad meal or whatever. So this nuance and this, or, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. So that's a really important one too. And I'll see what other notes I have. So low self-esteem, right? So like when I'm working in this and just myself getting over issues as well, I'm like, there's an invisible line, right, between eating and weight issues and low self-esteem. Like I still, to be honest, I've kind of no idea where low self-esteem stops and weight problems begin. Because if we've low self-esteem, we're willing to talk to ourselves badly. And usually having eating and weight problems is we've very, very low standards for how we're willing to talk about ourselves to ourselves, like in our thoughts, how we're willing to talk about our body. how we're willing to talk about our future. Like what I was just saying, you'll never change, you're never going to lose weight. Like I would say that's low self-esteem. And I think our influences are really important. So when I was kind of making my breakthrough with all of this, I worked in a place and I just listened to Gabby Bernstein and loads of positive coaches in my earphones all the time in between clients. And so what happened then, because I had so many positive influences, like my negative thoughts sounded crazy. Like it seemed all of a sudden really weird that I'd be washing the dishes or something and my mind would be like, you're a fat slob and you always will be. You'll always be known as the fat, ugly sister anyway. Like you're the fat friend, you're the whatever it is. And it's like, whoa. Like if you're listening to positive stuff all day and life coaches and, self-improvement people, and then like you hear those thoughts, you're like, that is ridiculous. Like, I'm just washing the ware. Like, how could I possibly deserve this kind of bullying? Like, have I done anything to deserve this? Like, would you go up to your niece or a child and be like, by the way, you fat thighs and you'll never change? Like, on what level or in what reality is that a normal thing to jump out and say unprovoked, or even provoked? Like, it's wild. So, I think that's another major difference with why I don't think I could go back to having weight problems now, because I'm like, that to me now is a mad use of my day. Like if it's 11:48 now when I'm recording this, to stay on a cross for the rest of the day, to basically waste today on a bad mood. I've so many problems with that. So first of all, say if today is, I don't know, whatever, the 2nd of September or whatever, like I'll never have this day again. I'll never have the 2nd of September 2024 ever again. And I'm just going to waste it by being in my mind, by conjuring up over and over and over again what I ate yesterday and what I ate 2 days ago. Like that's so entitled or something, because it's like not even the whole personal development thing, but like if you've ever lost someone close to you, it's like, why are you so guaranteed that you can waste days being in your mind? Like, what makes you think that you've so much time? You know that old saying, like, people live as if they're never going to die, and then they die never having lived. And I kind of think a lot of my motivation is super morbid, because none of us know how much time we have. And like, say, oh my God, I'm really touching wood now because I feel like I'm jinxing myself. But like, say if these were the last 7 days we have on earth, is that really how we're going to spend it? Like, we're going to say like, oh, I'm fat, my body is awful, I'm a bad person. Like, why? What is the benefit of that? And it's especially ridiculous when you think about like, you are literally like healthier than thousands upon thousands of people today. Your self-care game, as bad as you think it is literally better than thousands and thousands of people. There are literally thousands and thousands of people who are striving to become your weight right now. And I saw some post yesterday about like, everything we take for granted is something that other people are currently dreaming about. So like a lot of weight issues, to be honest, like I noticed from my own turnaround, are a lack of gratitude. Like, and I know this from working with people, like sometimes people will like lose 2 pounds against, all odds. Like it wasn't as if they were even being that crazy sound to their body or made that much changes. And, they'll be like, oh, it should have been 4 pounds, or we lose 4 pounds, it should have been 6 or whatever. Not that I promote using the scales, but I'm just saying we can be trapped in this lack of gratitude, entitled, negative space, and we need to get out of that. So how we live our day is how we live our life. And there's something very interesting about like, that's kind of odd that you think that you deserve to be body shamed for the next 4 hours. Like, maybe you're doing your jobs around the place, but maybe you're doing your jobs, but 50% of your mind is thinking how many calories you ate yesterday, when will you lose the weight, how will you lose the weight, what's wrong with you, your belly's so fat, you look so bad in that photo. And it's kind of like, whoa, that's disappointing that you think that you deserve that you think that you deserve to be spoken to like that or treated like that. So I kind of think just us working on like just on a basic level how we think we should be spoken to, and then just from the kind of life level, how we live our day is how we live our life. And it's like, do I want to practice this? Do I want to practice days where I miss the day because I'm in my head? And then that makes me think of that Alan Watts quote, a person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions. By thoughts, I mean specifically chatter in the skull, perpetual and compulsive repetition of words, of reckoning and calculating. And I'm like, that quote like really speaks to me, because I remember just being like, and how will I lose the weight? And when will I lose the weight? And maybe if I do one walk every day for the next 14 days, and maybe if I go off carbs, and it's just constant calculating. And it's like, whoa. Like, actions are what will change your life and change your body. That's ruminating. Ruminating is equated with weight problems and higher weights and obesity and everything. So being in your thoughts is no longer an option. Which brings me to the next point. Whenever we're in a bad day, we're not being mindful, because to be in a bad day, we'd have to be digging up the past. We'd want to be still thinking about the takeaway we shouldn't have eaten last night, or we'd want to be thinking about like, geez, I'm still going to be fat at that wedding in 2 weeks' time. We'd have to be, and like Alan Watts says, we're living in illusion. We're creating like illusions and visions and memories of what we ate too much of over the weekend, and illusions and images and projections of how we're going to feel badly at that family event in 2 weeks or something. So neither of it is happening right here, right now. And so I kind of think the more bad our day is, basically, the more we're struggling with like bad body image issues or like overwhelm about our eating or whatever. It's like, break it down to the tiniest amount of time. So I often say to clients, like, forget the past, forget the future. Where are you at now? How are you feeling right now, this minute? Do a little check-in, mind and body. I'll give you a second to do that. And then, how would you like to feel in 20 minutes' time? So in 20 minutes' time, how could you be further along, even in how you feel mentally or how you feel physically? So would you like to just zone out and put on some music or songs that make you happy? Would you like to sit on a bench outside and just look at the birds or look at the sunshine or something? Would you like to drink some water or have another coffee? Would you like to lie down on the couch? Would you like a biscuit? Like, what could from here to 20 minutes time make you feel better? And that is your work. Your work is stay out of the mind and stay in the next 20 minutes time. And like, mindfulness is always the opposite of the bully, because the bully always says, hurt yourself now and it's for the greater good. So the bully will say to you, it's important that you body shame yourself today because that will spur you into action. And it's important you keep regurgitating how much you ate yesterday because that will make sure you never do it again. And the bully will say, it's important that you eat all this crap tonight because then you'll be able to not eat it tomorrow and be really good. And so the bully's aim for you is to always feel shit now. Like, if you eat all the share bags now, it means in 20 minutes time, you're going to feel crap. And if you give out to yourself loads now, it means in 20 minutes time, you're going to feel crap. So you taking a stand to change your future is always like, I will be doing whatever the hell I need to do. So in 20 minutes time, I will feel better. So if me eating a scone now will mean in 20 minutes time, my body feels way better, I will be eating that scone. And if me eating that scone means in 20 minutes time, I'll be like, meh, that was so needless. That was so pointless. I super don't like the feeling in my belly and I've kind of ruined my appetite for lunch or something. Well, then it's a no. So our attack on the bully is us being like checking in on how we feel now and doing something so we feel better in 20 minutes time. So I hope all of that was a help to you. I'll be covering kind of stuff like this again, probably, no doubt. But yeah, I hope I've given you full permission to snap out of any bad day, come down off the cross, forgive yourself, absolve yourself. You haven't done anything wrong. You've a right to move forward. You've a right to enjoy today. And you've a right to act and feel and think like someone who doesn't have a weight problem, because that's who you intend to become. Okay, so love you loads. Thanks so much for listening. Mwah.